Good afternoon. It is Habib once again, Niala Shah. As we used to promise you day and day out that we are just working hard so as how to bring the best thing that we can for you. Guys, I hope you are doing great and we still in the first, week of, the Eid al-Fitr, and I hope that God will achieve your dreams. Well, as we used to promise you, usually we brought, this gentleman on show so as how to give what he got in his mind. And above all, we need to introduce him or we need to welcome him on show. Can you tell us something about yourself first?
First of all, in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the entire merciful. Hello, everybody there. I'm really grateful to have this outstanding moment in order to introduce myself to you. My name is Khadir Abakar Amr Abdushabi, and people call me Donald Trump and shortly DT. So they name me DT or Donald Trump because they think that I am too strict. I usually behave like Donald Trump in terms of executing my orders or my agendas, and that's why they call me DT or Teacher Khadir. I think everybody knows me around South Darfur State. Guys, I'm really so proud to have this outstanding program, which is Canal Quality Niala Canal for English learning. And I'm so grateful for these guys or for the founder or founders of this program, because really outstanding program, because really this going to help English learners in order to try to sophisticate their English and also try to show to the community what they are doing, or to even to prove to their parents that they're going to institutes or English learning foundations not only for nothing, but they're gonna prove that they're really learning. And therefore these guys, they brought outstanding idea as to reflect the community of South Darfur State what exactly their youth or their kids are doing exactly. And it's really outstanding program, because even people around the world will see what people of South Darfur State exactly doing. And really thank Mr. Abib and Mr. Umar for figuring out this magnificent program that helping young men and ladies to try to practice their English. It's the best way to, for example, to encourage the other people to try to go to enroll themselves in English institutes to try to learn English, because the best way, if they see their friend is talking there, even they will try to say, I'm gonna go to record myself because I found my neighbor is speaking English in a show. And everybody try to, as we are Sudanese, everybody try to laugh to show up himself or herself, to let everybody see him or her and so on. And thank you very much, Mr. Habib and Omar, for giving me this chance.
Really, we are happy that to have you, DT, as you told us your abbreviation, name. And guys, we came up with very, updated topic, which is Ukrainian and Russia. And let us just start with the first question, as we used to do, used to do it in day and out, as we used to do. Well, the first question of our discussion topic is, what is your point of view of Ukrainian conflict?
Okay, thank you very much, dear brother, for asking me this splendid question, which is concerning about the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, which is well known globally. Everybody knows what's really mean by this conflict. First thing, let me define the word conflict itself. When we say conflict, is a situation in which two countries or more than two involved in problem, or they are fighting each other because of a specific purpose. So nowadays, whenever you open a TV, any channel, any news, BBC, Jazeera, CNN, just speak about Ukraine, the problems that or conflict that has occurred between Russia and I can say Ukraine. We see really horrendous fighting or clash between Russia and Ukraine. We see every day Russia is striking Ukraine with different kind of missiles. There are thousands of Russian military entered inside Ukraine. They are destroying the public foundations. They have destroyed many public institutions, including companies, and they killed many Ukrainian civilians. Really horrendous, I can say, conflict in the history of the world. And we did not expect even to see such a conflict in Europe, because in whole my lifetime I knew only conflicts only within Africa and Middle East. But today we saw unthinkable fighting between Russia and Ukraine in Europe, and it's really ridiculous thing. Everybody's panicking about, and everybody feels shame and worry about what exactly is happening between Russia and Ukraine. This is only misconception, fighting between those two countries, but I will try to mention the more details about this.
Thank you, guys. We hope that our world should be safe. We still have more questions about that. And what are the cases of these conflicts? What are the main cases of this conflict?
Okay, thank you very much, dear questioner, for asking me the second questions concerning what are the causes of this conflict, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Well, from my point of view, or what I do know about this, the cause of this conflict is, first thing, Ukraine many years ago was a part of Soviet Union, and it has been dismantled or destroyed by American policy, which is called Cold War, that America used to dismantle the Soviet Union. And everybody knows Soviet Union in the past was one of the most sophisticated and powerful union around the world. There were many countries involved in the same union, and then America found that union is really dangerous for their security, for their existence in the world, for their leadership, and they used filled the game to dismantle that, and they win in what they decide to do. And therefore, the main reason led Russia to fight Ukraine, or to strike, or to invade, is because Ukraine was thinking as to join in NATO. And NATO means North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's the organization, and also is a kind of group of shield, I can call them, or group of countries. They make unity agreement in order to build their special forces for protecting, in the aim of protecting their countries, and they have a rule called attack on one is attack on all. Like, means if any one of those countries being attacked by any other countries, they will try to respond overwhelmingly. And I think NATO has nearly 39 countries, and they're really very strong countries, including United States, United Kingdom, and France and German, and there are many countries around Europe are also in the same. And even this one country, this Islamic country, Turkey, is also involved in the same, I can say, organization. And Ukraine also decided to join in that, I can say, NATO, and this is really very dangerous for Russia, because NATO, Ukraine and Russia, between them only sea, Black Sea. If, for example, Ukraine involve or join in NATO forces, this will be really a big threat for Russian people, because they're gonna look each other day in and day out, and they know that why American brought an idea of creating this group or forces called NATO, just only to confront Russia, or to try to bring Russia down, as not to try to defeat them, and so on. So that's why Russians said it's really a very threat for their homeland security, for their existence, because if any problem between Russia and Western countries happen, so they will try to strike, or they'll try to fire their missiles as quick as possible, and Russia will be destroyed as quick as possible. And therefore they decided they warned Ukraine many times as not to join NATO, but Ukraine refused. They say, we're gonna do this because this is for our benefit. We feel less safe with your existence nearby us, because every day you provoke us with your missiles, nuclear, you just nuclear arsenals, bringing your I can say military ships by the side of our country. You try to invade our country as you want without consultation, and therefore they strike. But really it's very bad what Russia has done and what it's still doing, and also really a lot of people being killed. We see many cities being damaged, and many children and mothers, they lost their lives, and now most of civilian or inhabitants of Ukraine are transferred to other Europe countries. And this is exactly you see, it's really very horrendous according to my point of view. This is the main reason that led those people to fight.
Quite, predictive ideas what he has just said. We still have, one last question, which is, do you think that what you mentioned or this conflict will lead us to the, international third world war? I mean,
Well, thank you very much for questioning me. The next question, or the third question, which is asking about, will this conflict lead us to W3 or Third World War? Well, in some cases will lead us, and in some cases will not lead us. The first thing, if it will not lead us, if those countries, Russia and Ukraine, sought wisely to sit down and try to negotiate peacefully, to try to see the areas which they disagree and try to sit around the table to negotiate about the disagreements and try to find out the best solution, because I do believe that any problem has solution. There's no problem without solution, but wisdom is anything. If they get wise and they sit down and they negotiate about, and they brought like some countries to be mediators, those trusted countries, like countries which Russia can trust them and also Ukraine can trust them, and put them down and make very strong you can say negotiation and contract that will be signed, and no country will try to, for example, to violate that contract which will be signed among the international community. I do believe that here the Third World War will not take place. But if, for example, no country is going to, whether Russia is not going to stop clashing with those folks, whether Ukraine are not going to stop, so here it will lead us to Third World War. Why? Because I do see that Western countries, including United States and German and UK and France, encouraging the president of Ukraine as not to capitulate or not to give up. Every day they support them with military equipments, many ammunitions, many tanks, many missiles, like highly sophisticated weapons which can strike Russian forces wherever they are. If we observe how many tanks, military tanks that belong to Russia being targeted, being damaged in Ukraine by the help of United States and France and so on. So this indicates that they support Ukraine with strong weapons, sophisticated, highly technological weapons that can help them to, for example, to find Russian where they are and to destroy their strongest weapons. And also we saw 2 days ago Ukrainian drone attack Russia, for example, inside Russia. And for example, one destroyed the oil fields, the oil tunnel, the oil tanks, and also the one destroyed like the store of what I can say, guns and ammunitions, many things being damaged. And also Ukrainian president said that if he received the highly weapons that United States promised to give them, Joe Biden has said to give them weapons with about $8 billion, is including most sophisticated weapons. In this case, the president of Ukraine said that he will try to strike Russia in the capital, means he will try to hit the Moscow, and this is really very dangerous. German also sent many tanks to Ukraine. Now they're on the way. Maybe tomorrow, after tomorrow, they will reach there. And also this indicates that the support of Western countries encourage those two countries to try to increase, or to try, they're adding the fuel to the flame rather than to reduce. And this is really very bad thing. And also we see Russia announce that if Western countries do not stop supporting Ukraine, they will try to hit three countries by the capital of three countries by nuclear weapons, including German, Berlin, and also Paris and London. Those three countries, or three capitals of three countries, will be targeted by the nuclear bombs. And Russia is really serious, because even he brought the soldiers, those who are responsible or highly qualified about launching nuclear weapons. He found that if there's no way for them to bring Ukrainian down, they will try to use nuclear weapons. Now we know that the disadvantages of nuclear war. No country will win. All of us, including we live in Africa, we're gonna die, because if, for example, Russia fire only one missile nuclear arsenal to to those three countries, other countries will try to respond, and this indicates that the world will be destroyed and no one will survive, and it's really very worst thing. According to my point of view, I do advise all international community, including African leaders, including all countries, they must try by any way to do their best to try to bring agreement between Russia and Ukraine to stop fighting each other, and they have to forget about the idea of fighting or using nuclear war, because it's really horrendous. We don't want to lose the souls of billions of people. And thank you very much, guys, for having me Niala show. Thank you, Mr. Habib and Mr. Omar. It's really outstanding opportunity for me to be here to say my point of views about this point of view. I do love that people will try to laugh what I have said. And thank you very much for having me this chance.
So we are happy that you was our guest on show, and guys, you see, I hope that you level up your vocabulary from his speech, and as we used to promise you that, see you like that.